Good morning. I'm Reverend Dr. Majani Baruti. I'm the Climate Justice Organizer at the mighty Push Buffalo. We are here today on behalf of the beautiful people of Western New York to defend New York's climate law and invite our state leaders like Governor Hochul, Majority Leader People Stokes, and the Public Service Commission to stand with our communities as we oppose National Fuel's proposed rate hike and as we advocate for passage of the New York Heat Act in 2025. We are here today in front of National Fuel's corporate headquarters because National Fuel wields its monopoly power to undermine our progress on climate justice, energy affordability, and healthy communities here in Western New York. So we're here to call out National Fuel as we call in our state leaders. To do that, we'd like to highlight how National Fuel Gas is holding our community back. National Fuel voted against the climate law scoping plan as a member of the Climate Action Council. National Fuel's long-term gas plan costs $1 billion more than the high electrification pathway approved in the scoping plan. National Fuel's long-term gas plan only reduces emissions 53% by 2042. Our climate law goal is 85% by 2050. National Fuel promotes costly and dangerous, deadly, false solutions like hydrogen blending and biogas. National Fuel uses charitable donations to greenwash its public image.
That's grimy! That's grimy!
National Fuel was investigated by state regulators for using our money, customers' money, for lobbying against climate law. That ain't right. National Fuel will spend $1.2 billion of customer money over the next decade to replace gas infrastructure. National Fuel expects a public bailout to maintain its expensive and aging gas system.
Where's my bailout?
National Fuel executives received $35 million in compensation from 2021 to 2023.
Where's my compensation?
National Fuel made $1.4 billion in corporate profits from 2021 to 2023.
That ain't right.
National Fuel pays a lower tax rate, 17%, than most Western New York families.
That ain't right.
National Fuel handed out $512 million in dividends to shareholders from 2021 to 2023.
I want my share.
National Fuel paid $3 million to its 10-person board of directors in 2023.
That's not right.
National Fuel wants to raise the fixed customer charge 15% over the next 3 years.
You missed one. You missed one.
In August 2024, 54,000 National Fuel customers were in arrears and owed $24 million. National Fuel has proposed a 29.3% rate hike. Lastly, but I'm sure it's not going to be the last, National Fuel opposes the New York Heat Act and a 6% energy affordability guarantee. So we're here to call out National Fuel as we call in our state leaders. Our first speaker today, Ms. Luz Velez.
Oh, thank you.
All right. I'm one of those people that'll be highly affected by the fact that elders, marginalized people are constantly on the front lines of having shutoffs. We people here are always holding up our houses with duct tape and shoestrings, just trying to pay the bills, stay healthy, and buy food.
That ain't right.
It isn't right that these people make billions upon billions. A 10-person I'm not, excuse me, I'm not opposed to getting some help to pay my bills, but it's subsidizing them getting more money. We need to understand that as people, we are tired of always having to curtail our needs according to their designation of what we can do with our money. As marginalized people, it is not fair that we go out there. And when I mean by marginalized, it isn't about color, it's about social, economic, everybody can hit the same way. It is not fair for people to have to live this way. I used to have to pay over $300, $400 a month, okay? There needs to be a cap in the way in which I can have my money and still stay warm and healthy. Because health is one of the forefront things that affect us, from COPD, from dirty fossil fuel that keeps us sick in our communities. So what we are saying is, we are not going to continue to allow them to tell us that we have to pay and keep them nice and warm and cozy while we figure out what bills are going to get paid and how we're going to deal with our children being sick with asthma and bronchitis and all other types of illness. We need to stop this now. I need a cap. I don't have the type of budget where I can play. I need a ratio amount where I know that I can pay my bills. I'm not a deadbeat, okay? I am not a deadbeat, but I'm sick and tired of people telling me how I can make it when I'm suffering to pay my bills. So this has to stop. National Fuel needs to hear us. So that's all I want to say, but I'm talking for everybody, incluyendo los latinos en la comunidad de nosotros. Tenemos que despertar. National Fuel, la compañía de gas, quiere que nosotros seguimos pagando lo que ellos se calientan. Nosotros necesitamos ayuda. Todos aquí necesitamos apoyo. Solidaridad para todos. Solidarity for all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mama Luz. Our next speaker, Bob Zieliski.
Go, Bob!
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
We're here to urge the inclusion of the New York Home Energy Affordable Transition, or the New York Heat Act, in Governor Hochul's 2025 executive budget. Our state must begin a transition from the fracked methane gas supplied by National Fuel Gas Distribution and other gas utilities in the state to cold air electric heat pumps and geothermal heating systems. The transition is being prevented, however, by current regulations in New York. For instance, the obligation to serve New York regulation requires that both the state and the utilities provide methane gas heating whenever one customer in an area or a neighborhood requests it. This has prevented the transition of entire neighborhoods to electric heat based on the demand of a single resident for gas heat. Another regulation which subsidizes the gas industry is the 100-foot rule, which requires that gas hookups from the main line to a residence be provided to homeowners with the subsidized costs then being charged to each and every ratepayer of the utility. The All-Electric Building Act, which passed the legislature several years ago to have construction of new homes heated solely by electric heat sources, will be significantly hindered by these existing antiquated regulations. Polling shows that many of our nation's citizens, including the vast majority of young people, understand the importance of transitioning from fossil fuels and methane gas to prevent the worst effects of climate change. Fracked methane gas that's used by National Fuel is 86 times more potent in trapping heat in the atmosphere in the first 20 years of its release than is carbon dioxide. Over 100,000 cold weather heat pumps have already been installed in the frigid state of Maine and are working effectively. National Fuel Gas doesn't want you to know about this successful non-fracked gas heating option. They claim electric heating is ineffective and premature. They have proposed a 20-year business plan to keep and expand their gas pipeline system at the expense of ratepayers and the state. Maybe they are also concerned that the 2,500 frac gas wells owned by Seneca Resources under the umbrella of National Fuel Gas will become unprofitable. We ask National Fuel Gas Distribution to become a champion of electrification and the public good. The New York Heat Act will allow the gradual transition away from methane heating to electrification. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Bob. Thank you so much. Our next speaker, Mr. Bill Nowak. Bill, let's get it.
Good morning. I had something written up. I am not going to say what I had written up because it's already been said better by Reverend Majati, by Luz, and by Bob. The information is out there. What I want to point out is that 25 people in this group came out on a cold day like today to make the point we're making. And I also want to point out that we are not alone. This is the 12th month of the year. Tomorrow is the 12th day. There are 12 actions all across the state. Long Island, New York City, Hudson Valley, Albany, Syracuse. We are joined together with actions all across the state. The gas utilities need to hear this. The governor needs to hear this, and the legislature needs to hear this. We need New York heat.
Thank you, Bill. Our final speaker, Janet Linacek.
Hi, I'm from the local Sierra Club. Inflation has hit everybody, and it's post-pandemic, and it's not just the cost of food. It's the cost of things like healthcare. It's education, it's transportation, and it's also gas bills, okay? One of every 4 Erie County households right now are struggling to pay their utility bills every month. The New York Heat Act will help those households because it will cap energy prices. We're asking Governor Hochul and Western New York Assemblymembers and state senators, please make New York heat the priority for inclusion in the 2025 New York State budget this year. Let's go!
Let's go! Let's go!
Hello, my name is Alex Bortomissa. I am the Western New York Regional Coordinator with NYPIRG, the New York Public Interest Research Group. NYPIRG supports the HEAT Act not just because it's good for the environment and public health. NYPIRG supports the HEAT Act because it protects our public health and saves people money. Even though the cost of fuel is decreasing, families across the state are seeing their bills rise dramatically. And why is that? It's because utility companies are using our money to subsidize new fracked gas pipelines. Right now, 1 million hardworking New York families are months behind on their utility bills, and they have to choose between rent, groceries, and utilities. But these monopolies can only demand more from them, and it needs to stop.
Come on, man.
With the HEAT Act, we will cap utility costs at 6% of family income and ensure that we are no longer forced to subsidize the already wealthy fossil fuel industry. On Monday, Governor Hochul announced the first plans of our affordability agenda. Today, we call on Governor Hochul and the Assembly to keep their word. Prioritize affordability for everyday people, not greedy utility monopolies. Include the HEAT Act in the upcoming budget now.
Our speakers, to summarize our demands, Governor Hochul and the Public Service Commission must absolutely deny National Fuel's request to hike our gas rates nearly 30%. Governor Hochul and leaders in the state legislature, including Majority Leader Peoples Stokes, must absolutely defend the climate law and pass the New York Heat Act in 2025. Thank you.
Let's get one photo op, so let's